Anne Shirley, but please call me Cordelia. I think Cordelia is a much better name for me, don't you think? Oh, I am truly honored and excited to be going to Green Gables with you, Mr. Cuthbert. I feel I'm the most fortunate girl in the whole universe, or at least in the whole District of Canada. Hello, my name is Anne Shirley, but please call me Cordelia.
There she is at the end of the platform.
But it's a boy I've come for. Mrs. Spencer was to bring a boy over from Nova Scotia here to Bright River, and I was to take him home to Avonlea.
Well, Mrs. Spencer got off the train with her and left her in my charge until you got here.
There must be some mistake.
Perhaps she can explain it. She sure is a talker, that one. Now, if you'll excuse me, that was the last train today, and I'm late for my supper.
Oh, I do hope you are Mr. Matthew Cuthbert.
Well, that would be me.
Hello, my name is Anne Shirley.
Yes, I heard you a little while ago from across the platform. You were talking kind of loud.
Oh, yes, people tend to do that where I come from. I was beginning to be afraid you weren't coming for me. If you hadn't, I was going to climb that big cherry tree down by the tracks and spend the night in it.
You're not a boy.
But I can climb all the same, and I wouldn't be the least bit afraid. I'd pretend the blossoms in the moonlight were like columns in a castle.
The rig is over there. We better get going. I can take your bag.
Oh, I can manage it. It has all of my worldly goods in it, but it isn't heavy. Would you look at that? Isn't that beautiful?
What?
That tree over there. What does it make you think of?
Well, now, I don't know.
Well, a bride, of course, with a misty veil. Oh, I don't ever expect to be a bride myself. I'm so homely nobody would ever want me, except maybe a foreign missionary. Not only am I homely, I'm terribly skinny. I would love to pretend that I am nice and plump with dimples in my elbows. Am I talking too much? People always are telling me I am. Would you rather it if I didn't talk?
Well, now, I don't mind talking to folks so much, since I'm kind of quiet myself. Talk as much as you like.
Thank you, Mr. Cuthbert. I feel that we are going to be kindred spirits. Oh, Mrs. Spencer told me all about Green Gables. She said there's a brook nearby, and that makes me almost perfectly happy. But, you see, I can never be exactly perfectly happy because of this.
Your hair?
What color would you call it?
Red, ain't it?
Yes, red. I can imagine away my green eyes and my freckles and my skinniness, but I cannot imagine away my red hair. Have you ever thought of what it would be like to be divinely beautiful?
Well, now I don't recollect I have.
Will your sister like me, even though I'm not divinely beautiful?
Don't think that'd bother her too much. Something else might. Might bother her a whole lot. Anyway, we better get home.
Home? What a lovely sound. Almost angelic. I don't know if I'll ever get used to it.
Let's hope you get the chance. Come on now.
Yes, let's not delay. Mrs. Spencer told me all about Green Gables, and it seems almost like a dream. I've pinched myself black and blue from the elbows up, hoping it wasn't a dream. You see, Mr. Cuthbert, all my life. Marilla? Evening, Rachel. Marilla, are you all right? I had one of my headaches yesterday, but I'm okay now. Why do you ask? I was at my window shelling peas this afternoon when I saw Matthew going by with the buggy and sorrel mare. Yes. And he hasn't come back yet. You've been sitting at your window for 3 hours? We had a big pea harvest this year. Anyways, I overheard Matthew tell Peter Morrison at Blair's store in Carmody yesterday that he meant to sow turnips today. He finished. And he left. And that's about all there is to it. I suspect that's not all there is to it, Marilla. Not being the nosy type, I certainly won't pry.
Oh, well, I suppose I may as well tell you. Matthew went to Bright River. We're getting a little boy from an orphan asylum in Nova Scotia. He was to come in on the 5:30 train. Sit and have some tea, Rachel.
I'll sit, but no tea, thank you. I'm much too flabbergasted. Are you in earnest, Marilla?
We've been thinking about it for quite some time now. Matthew's getting up in years and his heart troubles him quite a bit. So we sent for an orphan boy. Old enough to do some chores right now, but young enough to be trained up proper.
Well, I'll tell you plain, I think it's a mighty foolish thing you're doing, bringing a strange child into your home, not knowing a single thing about him. Why, just last week, I read in the paper about a man and his wife who took a boy out of the orphanage, and he set fire to the house. On purpose. And I heard of another case where an adopted boy sucked all the eggs he gathered. But the worst, they say, is over in New Brunswick. An orphan poured poison down the well, and the whole family died in fearful agony. Only it was a girl in that instance.
Well, we're not getting a girl. Matthew's afraid of them, and I never dream of bringing one up.
Well, I can't wait to tell, to see how this all comes out. Look, there's Matthew and the boy pulling up now. Hard to see him in this light. It looks like the first thing you're going to have to do is give him a haircut. I'll just slip out the side door so you and Matthew can be alone with the new boy. And I won't breathe a word of this to anyone. I'll let you two break the news. Oh, and Marilla, if I were you, I'd keep the lid fast real tight over the well tonight.
The drive here was so pretty. No, that's not the right word. Nor beautiful, either. It was wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, hello. You must be...
Matthew Cuthbert, who's that? Where's the boy?
There wasn't any boy. It was only her.
Well, we asked for a boy. Why did you bring her?
I couldn't just leave her at the station, no matter how the mistake came to be.
Well, this is a pretty piece of business. You don't want me? You don't want me because I'm not a boy? Might have expected it. Nobody ever wanted me. Might have known it was too beautiful to last. Well, there's no need to cry about it. Yes, there is. You'd cry too if you were an orphan. You'd come to a place you thought would be home. Was it because you weren't a boy? Well, don't cry anymore. We're not going to turn you out of doors tonight. What's your name? My name is Anne Shirley. But please call me Cordelia. I think Cordelia is a much better name.
What's
than me.
wrong with calling you by your real name?
Well, it's so unromantic.
Oh, fiddlesticks. It's a good, plain, sensible name.
Very well. If you must call me Anne, please call me Anne, spelled with an E at the end.
All right, Anne, spelled with an E.
Now, can you tell us how this mistake came to be? Were there no boys at the orphan asylum? Oh, yes, there was an abundance of boys. Mrs. Spencer thought that you wanted a girl. Mr. Cuthbert, why didn't you tell me at the station that you didn't want me? Just leave me there.
Well, now,
If I hadn't seen the white way of delight and the lake of shining waters, it wouldn't be quite so hard to leave.
What on earth does she mean?
They're new names she gave to the apple tree grove in Barry's Pond.
Oh, sounds like your imagination works overtime. Come upstairs and I'll show you where you can sleep tonight. Then we'll have some supper.
I won't have any, thank you. I can't eat when I'm in the depths of despair. Can you?
Well, I've never been in the depths of despair, so I can't say.
Well, you could imagine what it would be like.
I've got my hands full handling the real things in life. Come on. Now, you can unpack your things first, then come back down. If you still don't want any supper, you can at least say goodnight. Send her back to the orphan asylum tomorrow.
Well, now,
Matthew Cuthbert, you never light up that pipe unless something's weighing on your mind. What is it?
Just seems like such a pity to send her back when she's so set on staying here.
You mean to think that we ought to keep her? What good would she be to us?
We might be some good to her.
I believe that child has bewitched you.
She's a real nice little thing. Real interesting, too. Talked my ear off on the way coming home.
Oh, she's a talker, all right, but that's nothing in her favor. Anyway, you need somebody to help you with the chores.
I could hire a local boy part-time. She could be company for you.
I'm not suffering for any company, and I don't aim to keep her. I wish you'd go outside with that pipe.
I'll put the mare in the barn.
Oh, Miss Cuthbert, I love the view from the window upstairs. In the moonlight, the trees and the flowers are fairly shimmering. They seem to be calling out to me, Anne, come out to us. We need a playmate. But I don't dare go out, of course. It's the use in loving things if you have to be torn away from them.
Can you do chores?
Oh, yes, I can cook and clean and wash dishes.
I mean outside chores. Oh, never mind. That Matthew, what's he got me thinking? He's a ridiculous man.
I think he's lovely. He didn't seem to mind how much I talked, and he even seemed to like it. The moment I saw him, I felt that we would be kindred spirits.
You're both kind of strange, if that's what you mean by kindred spirits.
Miss Cuthbert, I just ran into Mrs. Lynde at the foot of the hill, and she told me that both you and your brother have adopted a little boy. Now, Mr. Blewett and I were thinking of getting us a young girl from that orphanage. Do you think they might have a hard-working girl with clear eyes and a strong back?
Well, this is quite the coincidence, Mrs. Blewett. Perhaps a providential coincidence. We may be able to work something out right here. You see, we ordered a boy, but they sent this girl.
Not very stout-looking, but wiry. That'll have to do, I suppose. Now, if I take you, you'll have to be mighty good, and smart, and respectful. I'll expect you to earn your keep, make no mistake about that. I got a large family. The core lot and the baby's awful fractious. You'll have to take care of a whole lot of them. Yes, I will take her off your hands, Miss Cuthbert. If you'd like, I could take her right now.
Well, that might be a good thing for Matthew and me to think about. You see, we haven't absolutely decided we wouldn't keep her. We'll let you know tomorrow.
Well, I suppose that'll have to do. Good night.
Miss Cuthbert, did you really say that perhaps you'll let me stay here?
Just perhaps and no more. Although Mrs. Blewett certainly needs you more than I do.
I'd rather go back to the orphanage than live with her. Please let me stay here. I'll do anything you ask of me.
Well, you might start by going upstairs and getting dressed for bed. And don't forget to say your prayers.
I don't know how.
You've never been taught to say prayers? You love God, don't you?
Well, he gave me my red hair, so I never cared for him very much.
Young lady, I can see you need some strong religious training. We'll start right now with your prayers. Kneel down with me. Now, repeat after me. Now I lay me down to sleep.
Now I lay me down to sleep. Why must we kneel to pray? Wouldn't we be closer to heaven standing up? I'm sorry, Miss Cuthbert. What's the next part?
I pray the Lord my... Oh, never mind. You're old enough to pray for yourself. Just thank God for his blessings and ask him humbly for the things that you want.
Okay. Dear Father, I thank thee for the white way of delight and the lake of shining waters. And, well, that's all the blessings I can think of right now. And as for the things I would like, they're so numerous, but I'll only mention the two most important. Please, please, please let me stay at Green Gables. And please let me be good looking when I grow up. I remain yours respectively, Anne Shirley. Good night. Good night.
I've never brought brought up a child before, especially a girl. And they'll probably make a terrible mess of it. But it's about time somebody adopted that child and taught her something. As far as I'm concerned, Matthew, she can stay.
Well, now.
Now, try and make her useful and train her properly. But don't you go interfering with my methods. I suppose an old maid knows more about bringing up a child than an old bachelor anyhow. I thought you put the mare away.
Guess I had my mind on that little girl so much I plumb forgot.
Looks like I'm dealing with two children now. Come on, you unhitch the wagon and I'll put up the mare.